You're going to have to retrain yourselves to not sweat anything in the matrix. You're going to have to retrain yourselves to not sweat anything in the matrix. You're going to have to be transformed by the renewing of your minds. You need to be transformed by the renewing of your minds to keep your minds. This world is insane, unjust, unfair, a complete lie, a setup, a mirage, an image, an illusion, facade, backwards, calls good evil and evil good. It's damaging. It's hellish. It's greedy, parasitic, backstabbing, and full of treason. You're going to have to retrain the way you think. I'm hearing humble thoughts. Because the American dream is gone, you guys, if it ever was. It's gone. It's just gone. And you can see that reflected through people's moods and personalities. I don't believe anybody's happy out there. The American dream is gone. And it was killed by people that got into positions and jobs that they should not have had. They placed themselves there, I feel. Or they were placed there by other people behind the scenes. People always want like-minded individuals in the pot with them, so to speak, so that they can all work together toward a common goal because they all possess the same agenda. And they do these things in the shadows because if people already have you surrounded when you come into the world, they can feed you anything. You're not the one that will hold the power. They will be the ones that hold the power because they're the ones that have already planted and positioned themselves before you got here. And then when they die off, they make sure that somebody else takes their seat that thinks just like they do. I know what I'm talking about. And the objective is to hold black people down, but still black people stand. But the objective is also to hold everybody else down that thought they were standing. So to be honest, it seems to me like almost everybody is the target. It doesn't matter what your ethnic background is. Although we know that black people are the primary target. And I'm not making this conference about black people, but I'm just speaking the facts in it to give people a certain type of awareness and outlook. If people, for those whose eyes are pretty much still wide shut, you know. This world is so jacked up. You just come out better just, you know, if you have a home or if you have a little place, you come out better just sitting up in there and not dealing with anybody almost. Because when you do deal with people, you don't know if that's somebody that has a hidden motive, trying to put a knife in your back. People are filthy, some of them. They're filthy. I mean, they're just naturally filthy. It's like they nasty and they know they nasty and they want to be nasty. as it pertains to their character. So in actuality, I know a lot of you out there, you're social people probably, and you're having a difficult time not being on the social scene, but that might be your protection and you just don't realize it. Being in isolation from people, that's most likely your protection, because you're better off being by yourself than being surrounded by a bunch of pythons that don't have your best interests at heart. What you've got out there are a lot of snakes that are overconfident within themselves. You've got people out there that are rolling like don't nobody know they're a snake. People know they're snakes. There are people that know they're snakes. For real? What kind of world is this? I don't know about you all, but I know a snake when I see one. You better know one when you see one, or get got. Your discernment needs to be heightened in this hour more than ever, because this world really is just a pit of snakes with a few good folk. And that's it, and that's all. And for those that are good, you have to be sober and vigilant out there. Don't fall asleep among a pack of snakes, meaning, don't not see what you need to see to survive. Keep your eyes open, especially your spiritual eyes. You have to walk by way of your spirit, not your flesh. And don't get frustrated because people are not how the old school folks used to be. Because you know what? Yeah, a lot of people have changed. But in a lot of cases, it may not be that other people have changed. It may just be this is a new group of people on the scene out there. And they're not like those old school folks. You get what I'm saying? Because, the old school folks, they're pretty much dying off. So, to expect this generation to be like your grandparents' generation or your parents' generation, no. Not to say that those folks were perfect back then in general, but, or even to say that the world was all that different, because, the world has always been foul. I just feel like now it's just we have social media and we can see it. But there's nothing new under the sun. And there, you know what, y'all? I saw something on the internet. It was so disgusting. It was, people are demonically possessed. There are people, from what I saw, I think they went, I guess it was to another country, and paid a ton of money to defecate on people, or have people defecate on them, or do something disgusting and abominable. That's how filthy people are nowadays. They're filthy. That is filth. Oh my God. There's nothing new under the sun, but y'all, I'm telling you, people are just filthy. That don't make no kind of sense. And for you men out there, let me tell you something. For you brothers out there, the real ones, you're doing the right thing. For those of you that are just staying to yourselves and living your lives and focusing on God and your careers, I would greatly encourage you to do so. Because some of these women out here, oh my gosh. Chicken heads. I think the dudes used to call them chicken heads back in the day. Chicken heads. No intelligence at all. No originality. just copying what the next chick is doing. Jealous of a group of individuals but trying to look like them. That's the thing that gets me, is people who talk straight trash about certain people, but then when you look up, they trying to look like them. Oh my gosh. See, that's the reason why you can't pay no attention to your haters, because your haters want to be you. They want to be you, because when you look up, they trying to look like you and dress like you and wear the makeup like you and arch the eyebrows like you and get your hairstyle and the style of clothes you wear. Don't pay your haters no mind. Don't pay them folks no mind, because they jealous. I don't pay them no mind. If they could be you, they probably would be. If they could be. It's a trip. I mean, you know what? There are people that people act like they can't stand, but then when you look up, they trying to look like them, or trying to copy the style and the image that they used to wear. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. But talk stone cash trash about folks, then trying to look like them. What kind of mess is that? That's the reason why, for those of you out there, if you got people hating on you, know who you are. Know who you are. Because sooner or later, they'll be trying to look like you. I'm telling you. And people know where they don't compare. And the thing that gets me are the ones that try to get in good with you. No, there ain't no getting in good with somebody who know you a hater if they got common sense. No, there ain't no getting in with nobody like that, because they already know you just up in their face trying to put a knife in their back. Y'all be careful of these folks who you know are pythons and don't like you, and always somebody grinning in your face, or even if they want to hang out with you, or want you to call them, or they want to call you, or whatever. I say if you're solo, remain solo and watch your backs. But you don't have to watch your back so hard when ain't nobody around you. Your isolation is protection. Whoever you are out there, it's your protection. Because if you ain't got a bunch of snakes around you, you don't really have to be concerned too much. Don't worry about what they might be doing over there across the way. Let God handle that. And you live your lives. If they're not in your house, you don't have to be concerned about them. If they're not on your vehicles, you don't have to be concerned about them. The only time you have to really watch your back is when you are in a public setting, such as workplaces, colleges, society, out in society. That's the only time. When you are in a confined area, perhaps, or establishment around them. And even then, you don't have to be concerned, because I would say keep your association to a minimum. Come out from among them and be ye separate, like God said. And don't worry about them calling you arrogant or stuck up or pompous, because you do. You be obedient to God. And don't worry about what they have to say. Who cares what they have to say? I wouldn't care about anything that they had to say about me. I just would not care. I mean, I'm just that type of chick. I just wouldn't care. I don't even think people hang out and socialize anymore. There's a weird energy out there. It's very weird. There's a strangeness out there. It's a dullness. There's no liveliness. There's no spirit. Meaning the spirit of humanity. Meaning people, you know, like back in the days, people were spirited. You know, you ever look at the old videos and just see how people, just the energy of the people interacting and doing things and laughing and talking and hanging out and partying. You don't see that anymore. And you'll probably never see it again. I mean, it's like when I look at the old videos, I can tell what era it was. You know, Like, oh, well, this was the 60s, this was the 70s, this was the 80s, this was the 90s. And after the 90s, something went downhill. Maybe things were still okay during the early 2000s, but, people blame it on COVID or whatever, but you know what? Things were going downhill before COVID as far as how dirty humanity is. It's always, there have always been dirty people out there. Let's just keep it real, but there's a certain energy that's just not on this planet anymore. Certain vibe, And there's a lot of jealousy out there. It's like jealousy has taken on its own life form out there. Folks don't even try to hide it no more. You can see it in their faces. You can see it in the way they look at you. You know they hating on you. Oh my gosh, if they ever tried to hide it, but I think maybe they tried to hide it at some point. Maybe perhaps back in the day, maybe a little bit for some people. But that's something people can't hide. It shows on their countenances and their attitudes, and when you come around, how they get all shifty and uncomfortable, and it shows. You're intimidating them. Everything about you most likely is intimidating them because they know they don't shine like you shine. They can't be what you are. They can't be who you are. They're in the background. They're the back burner. They're the one on the shelf, the elf on the shelf. And for a lot of you, there are people that tried to make you the elf on the shelf. How an elf gonna make you an elf? Come on, please. Just in their own mind's eye, were they that it chick and it dude? They were lying to themselves. They never were the it chick. They never were the it dude. They were lying to themselves. And the reason why they wanted to hold you back is because they knew it was about you. Why try to put somebody on the shelf that you're not threatened by? Come on, y'all. I ain't nobody's elf on the shelf. They better sit their own stuff up there, looking to the side. Oh my gosh. But whatever your pursuits out there, you guys, I know things look bad right now in the world, but all things are possible to them that believe, and all things are possible initially, I should say, with God. For with God, all things are possible. So step on into that possibleness. That's probably not a word, but with God, get into God, so that the things that you want to be made possible will be so. Only God can bring what you want into manifestation. And if you get in Him, if it be His will, He will do it. My advice to you guys before I close, I was going to close on that note, but on that comment, but let me tell you, for those of you that are staying to yourselves, I greatly encourage you to continue. For those of you that are seeking relationships, protect yourselves. I heard that the HIV rate is still going through the roof. Protect yourselves. Don't get caught up in the heat of the moment. Stop, think, and act. Meaning, stop, count to 3, and I'm just gonna say it like this: just abstain, because you know what, fornication is gonna send you to hell. And the reason why I'm not gonna encourage nobody to get into no unlawful involvements, as it pertains to, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, if you are gonna do it, the least you can do is preserve your life. But I would greatly encourage you guys to be obedient to God and just live your lives. And I'm not going to say wait on a God-ordained spouse if there is a such thing anymore or ever has been, because y'all, I'm going to tell you the truth. There have been people that probably swore out they were with their God-ordained spouse to only find out they married a hellion. So, And I think what I was going to say, I feel like that term probably came from the acknowledgement or the actuality of God creating Eve for Adam. But see, that was of a necessity for human reproduction. But y'all, just be careful. I'm just going to keep my mouth out of that, because I just don't know if there's a such thing as a God ordained spouse. It looks to me like God has people in isolation. I think he wants you to form your relationships with him. I know he does. It's very dangerous dealing with people nowadays. Even it always has been, but even more so now. You got people out there, they don't care about themselves, their bodies, their physical health, their sexual health, nothing. They don't care about anything. They don't care. So if they don't care about themselves, they're not going to care about you. We're living in the last days, and I would just greatly encourage you to continue to look for Jesus. Jesus is the person of the hour. Because this world, it's just in shambles. It's just in shambles. And anybody that can't see that, they must be asleep under a rock somewhere, because ain't no way in the world. Or sleep in a cave, or not in society at all, because there is no way. This planet is dull. Even on days that are sunny and beautiful, it's like it's still, the spirit of the planet is not right. Like, oh, it's beautiful outside, but something still ain't right. It's the energy. It's the people. It may not be everybody, no, but there's a depression on this planet. And then, people dealing with all sorts of mess behind the shadows. Where can joy come from other than God? Yeah, but I'm just saying, y'all, I just don't see no natural joy out there. Like, people are just naturally happy, because it ain't out there. That's why I don't see it. I'm not going to say there aren't naturally happy people. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying I don't see it. Instead of be happy about a failing economy and, a bunch of crooks coming up against you to take your homes and your vehicles. And y'all, listen, I got to speak out on these car insurance companies. Let me tell you guys something. You talking about crooks. I've been seeing advertisements on the internet about how these car insurance companies are getting over on people, charging people all these high rates. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's not even necessary. And then the cost of living going up. And that's been going up. Who out there can afford to buy new cars? But yet and still, here they come, still doing all this old advertising. And no, people ain't even got jobs out there. How stupid. And then what do they do with the cars they obviously not selling? Just dangling mess in your face to play with you. That's who Satan is. I'm not saying the people are evil that are doing that. I'm just saying the whole system behind it. And whoever those individuals are, they're the evil ones. They're still playing the game of the Matrix. Well, there are those of us out there, our eyes are open. We see the Matrix. We see the lies. We see the setup. This ain't nothing but a man-made structure. And people are running around in it like mice in a maze. Please. And then you got your enemies who ain't nothing but little petty rats. Running around out there, gang stalking, harassing people on the internet, trying to set people up. They ain't nothing but a pack of roaches. That's all I see them as. A bunch of roaches, a bunch of rats, a bunch of rodents. When you that it guy, you that it chick, and all the while they running around trying to act like they thought they were. You thought a lie. You thought a lie with your trashy sales. And I'm talking about my enemies. And I'm talking about your enemies. Trashy bunch of folks. That's all they are. Just a trashy bunch of folks that ain't got nothing better to do than meditate on you. Want to be you. Try to put you down because they hate who they see when they look at you. Because they know they can never be you, because they can't compete where they don't compare. And they definitely don't compare. Whole world is sick. Sick and backwards. The only thing I can say right now before I conclude this conference is prepare yourselves. Walk by faith, trust in God, yes, but what comes to mind are the ants that I was observing a couple of days ago and filmed, actually, and how they were getting themselves together. They're always in preparation for their survival, And that's what you all are going to have to do out there. You're going to have to play the hands that you were dealt. And you're going to have to adapt, but still look to God to answer your prayers. Okay? So adapting doesn't mean accepting your current situations or circumstances. You still need to look forward. You still need to push and strive. It just means fight harder.